Welcome to this edition of the Gaming Tailgate Podcast, getting oh so close to some news and information regarding EA Sports College Football 27. I'm CDJ, joined by Tommy. Tommy, how's it going?
I'm getting impatient, ready for EA to actually say something of substance in my mind.
Well, at least we now know, and we'll go through the latest news and rumors that are out there. We're going to get information on the game June 4th as part of EA Sports opening drive. They say this year we're changing how we reveal our games. EA Sports Opening Drive brings together the full vision for College Bowl and Madden in one showcase, covering every mode, every major innovation, and every way to play. See you next week. As we record that, that will be this week. It says tune in. I'm assuming it's a live stream as we record this here on, Monday, June 1st, about 7 p.m. Central. We don't have a time on that. I hope they put that out sooner than later.
Yeah, I mean, to me, they've got to start some kind of communication, some kind of planning. Because I mean, I'm at work if it's during the day, so I want to be able to, block off time on my calendar if I need to, or whatever I want to do. So, yeah, I mean, they need to start saying something soon.
What's interesting is they're doing the two titles together, which I get it. There's a lot of, the gameplay team, central gameplay team works together. Some of those devs go between both titles. But at the same time, hopefully it's clear what's coming to each. Sometimes there's things on gameplay that aren't in both titles. For example, we know that historically with NCAA football and Madden and then college football and Madden, hopefully it's all clear between the two, what's in both. And it'll be interesting to see if it's 1 hour each or if it goes back and forth. It's just gonna be really interesting to see how this is done.
Yeah, and to me, it kind of waters down the attention. I mean, like I would much rather them be separate. And even if they went with Madden first, so be it. But to me, I would rather them have focus, and so that, like you said, everything they're talking about, it's specific for that game or what have you. So, not a big fan of it, but at least we're getting some information. I guess we can at least say that.
Yep, I said I'm like you. I kind of hope wish it was just college centric, but at the same time, I will take it. I'm ready for information. The leaks, when you deal with somebody named Mutt Leaks, they're going to have the leaks. There's no false advertisement with his name. On May 30th, was able to share the Madden cover that mainly through that Xbox.com listing for something called the MVP Plus membership, which as of June 1st here, we still don't know anything about. That listing has since been deleted. We'll get to that in a minute. Tommy, quickly, these deluxe covers, let's worry more about college football than Madden. No offense to the Madden fans out there. Thoughts on this design?
It's too busy. Like it to me, it's I'm not the target audience for this. Like I used to like something that was a little more simple and just, you know, yeah. I mean, I have ADHD, but I can't even tell myself where to start focusing on the screen. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I liked the one they did for 25 a lot.
Hmm.
Yeah, there was a lot on the screen, but at least you kind of, uh, you know, it showed a lot of what was going on and everything like that. So, yeah, this is too much for me.
Can I both criticize it and like it at the same time? Like some of the perspective on the side is off with like these props on the right and the car on the left. I can't get over the Notre Dame player not smiling at all. He looks so disinterested with his arms
Yeah.
up there. But at the same time, like if they put this out as a poster, I think it'd be cool to hang up. But at the same time, I think it needs a lot of work with the design. So it's like I like it, but recognize it needs a lot of work yet.
Yeah, I mean, later we got a little bit clearer picture of it, so you can kind of see some more of it. I'm curious why there is a sports car in there, and you can see it on the clearer picture. The license plate says "Do it for you,"
Hmm.
so what does that mean? It's at least interesting. So, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like I like Signetti there in the middle. He's over my shoulder now, but at the same time, there's too many players on there. If anything, I would want like maybe have the same cover art, but just with one guy on there at a time and have multiple copies of the same cover art, just with one or two guys on there at one time, you know?
In the whole perspective, especially when you get the screenshot we have here now, with the logo removed and more of Signetti legs shown, like it's very high on him, but yet somehow it's straight on with the Texas player behind him. Just the perspectives needs some work. I like the idea, just the perspective. And I don't know if you've noticed this, Tommy. Our community members who are really funny and very observant at the same time noticed that they used a Indiana stadium that's not fully attended in the background.
Oh yeah, I had not noticed that. So,
I think the logo kind of covers it, but you really see it on this one.
yep, yep, for sure.
Speaking of that, where did Mutleaks get this information? He had it instantly, or she, when this Xbox listing for whatever a MVP Plus membership dash 12-month subscription is. This is something that clear as mud would probably be the best way to describe what this text meant. We can tell you what it said. This has since been removed. So I don't know that we can take this as a guarantee, but it's got to make you think that if this went up on the Xbox website, it's probably pretty legit. Some of the things that it says, it mentions if you are a member of this MVP Plus membership, includes EA Sports College Bowl 27, membership only rewards, includes 7-day early access, beta access, June 4th through the 7th, some Ultimate Team packs, all mascots unlocked in mascot mashup, some Dynasty points, an exclusive Dynasty skill tree, and 500 Road to Glory skill points. It mentions if you buy the deluxe edition rewards, you get some extra stuff with there, the same as we've had in the past. And then it goes into Madden, which, no offense, we're not worried about Madden here tonight. Tell me, what do you think about some of that stuff that shows for those rewards? And it's very unclear. Does deluxe and standard still exist? I believe deluxe does because I mentioned. I'm sure standard still does. Does MVP exist? Does this replace MVP? Is this an add-on to MVP? I've read this 18,000 times, and every time I read it, I can convince myself a little differently.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I can come up with 10 different hypotheses and none of them can be proven wrong at this point.
Hmm.
You know, it says it's a subscription. To me, subscription is something that you renew from month to month or year to year or whatever. You know, there's at least some part of me that says, is this now kind of trying to go to some sort of a evergreen title to where it's a subscription title and just every year you get the latest release or something like that. I don't think so.
I don't either.
I would be surprised if that's the case. But again, it's like you said, it's clear as mud. There's some interesting stuff. The 7-day early access, obviously, the beta access, that's coming up this weekend according to those notes. So,
The
if
information
you're
should
going
be
to be in
coming out
that,
soon if this
yeah,
is
say,
accurate.
yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, long story short, I don't like the exclusive Dynasty skill tree. I hope that you can turn that off, but at the same time, if I'm somebody and I pre-order or not pre-ordered, but got this MVP Plus and I paid for that, and you're not going to let me use it in my own online Dynasty with other people, then, yeah, we'll see. But at the end of the day, it's at least interesting, and I'm ready to hear more information about it, I guess.
And Keenan has noticed that it said this is a pre-purchase of a membership. Uh, play for X gameplay access for College Football will begin on July 2nd. So seemingly that would be the new release date, at least if you get this MVP Plus membership, a July 2nd release date, which is great because a lot of people will have the 4th off and maybe even a day or two around it. All of a sudden, you have a lot more time to play the game
Yeah,
right
yeah,
out of the gate.
absolutely.
It does have some brief feature mentions here, and I think our next leak, which we get into, has even more, but we will skim this. According to Xbox, it mentions in Dynasty mode an all new Dynasty blueprint, puts you in control of your program's future, Road to Glory, define your path in Road to Glory, and experience new customization options and positions as you build your player, and then Mascot Mashup. Collect over 120 larger than life icons and bring the chaos to wild 11 on 11 mashups packed with over the top celebrations and mascot antics fueled by pure school spirit. Again, we speculated what, a month or two ago, Mascot Mashup would be back just because it was teased to coming back in 26 in one of those emails mid-year. So this is no surprise whatsoever.
Not at all. Yeah, the mascot matchup, like you said, we had already discussed that, and it was pretty much a guarantee at this point. So,
Mm.
uh, you know, conversations, people always say, I don't want mascot matchup. I want this other feature that takes, 6 months to build. Mascot matchup does not take hardly any time to build. So, all they have to do is add in some, crazy, like in the past, it was the side flip or whatever, it
Right.
doesn't take very long to add those to the game. You're talking about like a week versus of adding all of that to the game, probably for one person.
Mm.
So anyway, long story short, I'm not broken up about this. I'll play it probably once or twice for the fun of it, but then after that, move on. Um, so yeah, it does say something about collect, and then it's well in the MVP Plus. It says all mascots are unlocked. So, what does that mean? Am I going to have to pay for those other mascots, or what does that entail? So on some level, that's at least a little scary. So, but yeah, this at least gives us a little bit to go on. The Dynasty Blueprint at least says they gave, obviously they're going
Mhm.
to, but they gave Dynasty some attention. So,
Mhm.
that being the first listed feature is to me a good thing in
Mhm.
my mind.
And then Road to Glory, they mentioned new customization options, which if you remember back to the 25 when they put out the blog on Road to Glory, they talk about customization, and that was basically the player equipment and swag. I think they mentioned the word swag a bunch in that blog and in that paragraph or two. I take that to mean the equipment guys are going to get a lot of what they want, or at least some of what they want, with that line there. That's how I interpret it. And it mentions positions. Another popular request for the Road to Glory guys, they wanted more player positions. I don't know what that would mean if that's one or more. I don't know, but at least it's expanding for the guys who like that mode.
Yeah, I'm just hoping for to be able to play as punter.
Well, maybe keep your fingers crossed. An Amazon listing went up at some point, at least over the weekend, for a PC version of College Football 27. This also has since been deleted. We do have the screenshots here. It mentioned a little bit more about what's coming to College Football 27. Dynasty Blueprint, control your program's future with recruiting, NIL, staff, facilities, and athletic director expectations. Road to Glory, earn NIL deals, chase the Heisman, and raise your legacy score. That's different or expands upon what Xbox had. And the mascot mashup quote is basically the exact same. Down below on that product listing, a little tough to read, but I'll read some of these out loud. All new Dynasty Blueprint puts you in control of your program's future. Navigate athletic director expectations and use Dynasty points for recruiting, NIL, staff, and facilities to build your college football powerhouse. Some of the new ones: storytelling and presentation. Feel every moment of game day and experience college football at its highest. Dynamic weather, expanded pageantry, and a new broadcast package delivers deeper immersion as a dynamic storytelling connects your journey to the sights, sounds, and stakes of Saturday. Gameplay, we finally get a little blurb on gameplay. I was beginning to get a little concerned. Turn every touch into a highlight. Feel the difference of standout athletes impacting every play, from smarter route running and coverage to explosive wide receiver versus defensive back battles, while more streamlined, customizable pre-play adjustments fuel strategic and electric on-field action. A lot to unpack there. I mean, you can kind of interpret that how you want, but it is nice finally to get a gameplay leak or blurb here, sitting up, a month, give or take, from release.
Yeah, I agree. It's nice to get some information, but again, like we've said, if EA doesn't come out and say it, somebody else is going to fill the void. And in this
Hmm.
case, Xbox and Amazon happen to be the ones. And so you take those as official resources, and so now you have at least something more to go off of. I will say it's at least better than some of the rumors and leaks that were unofficial, and you didn't have anything official to go off of. So. Like you said, a lot to unpack there. Athletic director expectations, NIL. What exactly do those entail? Obviously, NIL has not really been in the game in the past. I mean,
Mm,
kind of, but not really.
not officially.
So I'm curious if that are you spending money or how that works, and what does that look like? Is in terms of like, can you budget to where
Mm.
you have that $30 million roster at your disposal or something like that.
I didn't think that would come to the game just because the rules are ever changing. Uh, it how is it implemented? We have no clue. If it's, real life money budgeting, is that going to be fun to do? Will that be a drain or a drag? Because in a lot of pro football games or pro sports games, period, managing your roster in terms of with money isn't fun. It's For some, it's the most boring part of the game because who likes
Yeah.
to budget your own finances, much less do it in a video game? I know there's a lot of guys who do like it. I'm not saying there's not, but I think for the average person, it's got to be engaging and fun. And hopefully, whatever format this is, hopefully fun and engaging.
Yeah, I agree. And like you, I never thought it would come to the game. For one thing, it's not the schools that do NIL deals. I mean, it's more the boosters that do the true
Right.
NIL. So it's kind of, in this case, you're kind of saying that it's the coach and
It's
and and the school that's doing it. I
it's
mean,
more
so
like
be
rev
it.
share than NIL because NIL, like you said, is the
Yeah.
outside companies licensing them. The schools, I mean, yeah, now they have the 20 million they can budget and whatnot, but at the same time, that's directly pay for play for them. It's NIL when it's outside company, if I understand this whole mess properly.
Yeah, it's not clear anyways. And again, for EA to tackle this is a little bit surprising. I welcome it, but at the
Mhm.
same time, I'm just curious to see how they actually implement it and do they actually deliver on it.
Right. And then right before we came on air to start recording the show here on, Monday evening, June 1st, Pete Nichols of On3, per sources, reveals the standard edition cover athletes of College Bowl 27, Dante Moore, Malachi Tony, and Kejuan Lacey. He says the cover is set to be released Tuesday. He adds the game will also include mascot mashup, a revamped dynasty mode, and announcer presentation. That last part elicited several community members responding almost instantly saying, "What does that mean?" I don't know. I mean, there's been rumors and speculation, but none from I can attribute it to being likely or possible right now.
Yeah, I mean the announcer presentation, I can again speculate on a hundred different ways, but that I'm not sure exactly what they're talking about.
And this graphic here, I'm 99.9% sure is just an on-3 graphic. Do not take.
Oh,
Some people say, "Oh, this cover looks great," and like, I don't think this is not the cover. This is on-3 graphics.
yeah, I would think so too. 'Cause yeah, it's not as like clean, I guess, is what you would expect from a cover. Like for the
Yeah,
particularly for Lacey's helmet, the face mask could be so
right,
reflective that you can't even see his face. So
right. And you can kind of see even with more, there's just too much. It's not EA style. Like I don't know if I could tell you what EA style is, but I can tell you when I see it. This isn't EA
y-
style.
I agree. I agree.
Tommy, we asked the community, what is your favorite EA Sports College Bowl Deluxe Edition cover design to date and why? Especially after we got that Xbox leak to get a look at it. No surprise, 25 ran away with it, 61% of the vote. 26, 18.4%, and then 27 got about 20% of the vote. Um, we kind of mentioned it during the show. I guess neither one of us are probably too surprised by that.
Yeah, because I mean, at number one, obviously 25, it was the welcoming back, but to me, it's a lot clearer. Like you have a focus and there's not so much busyness going on. There's not a bunch of faces to try to look at and everything like that. It's just simply you know who these guys are. All you need is their last name and their uniform and everything like that. And plus, it includes all the different teams that it does, including even some G6 schools were in there,
Mhm.
from what I recall. So, yeah, to me, this one's it just like this one of all of them. This is the one I would want to have as a poster.
Yes.
It's by far the best one at this point.
27, one of our community members says more of a Sergeant Pepper's approach, and I I thought that was a great line. I hadn't really thought about it that way, but they were exactly right on that.
Yeah, I agree. And plus, again, there's too many faces and your eyes don't really have one central focus area. Like to me, as a photographer, you want to have you want to direct the eyes to one central place. And on
Mhm.
this one and on 27, there's not one central place. 25 is perfect because it's central down at the bottom, right, front and center.
Mhm.
Whereas, 26 and 27, there's not that.
And one thing that's, I think they kind of revealed it last year with we kind of knew it with the leaks. This didn't quite match up with the behind the scenes on 26 would look like. I believe that jury rainy day moved a lot of this photo shoot indoors. This was all individual pictures pieced together on this 26. I think they tried to get a group shot, just didn't work out. And it's very clearly, in my opinion, 27 is the same way that maybe we didn't get a cover leak because they were never on site together. This might have been each school, or whether they asked the school for photos or whether they went to each school and took these photos somewhere. You can very much tell with different lighting that it's definitely not at the same location, very much like the 26 shoot.
And honestly, I would almost say the Signetti one is it's just his like waist up and then the rest is photoshopped in. Like I don't think that was actually taking as a that angle of a photo. Like his legs and feet and everything was photoshopped in my mind.
Mm.
Um that's part of I think why it looks strange and everything, but yeah, who knows.
So with that, we'll wrap up this edition of the Gaming Tailgate Podcast, our unofficial tailgate or pregame show for the EA Sports opening drive. Gotta expect more information soon. Tommy, like you said, when you start getting cover leaks, usually that means we're gonna get the official word sooner than later. So I would expect EA to maybe announce the official cover or covers here maybe Tuesday, but I gotta think news is gonna start coming hot and heavy here leading up to opening drive. For Tommy, I'm CDJ. Make sure to check us out. More news and information coming once that EA Sports CFB 27 news comes regularly. Everyone, thank you for watching, listening, and checking out this edition of the Gaming Tailgate Podcast.